Good day, everyone. My name is Miraflor Gamayot, and I am the first reporter of Group 4. Our topic is about Filipino indigenous literature. Indigenous Philippine literature encompasses the rich oral and written traditions of various ethnic groups in the Philippines. Predating Spanish colonization, it includes epics, legends, proverbs, songs, riddles, and other forms passed down through generations. What is Filipino indigenous literature is? Filipino indigenous literature, rooted in oral traditions and pre-colonial cultural practices, explores themes that reflect ancestral wisdom, communal values, and resistance to external forces. Here are the key themes: connection to nature and environment. Indigenous narratives often use natural metaphors drawn from local ecosystems, riddles or bugtong, and proverbs salawikain, like human experiences to elements like rivers, bamboo, and fireflies, emphasizing harmony with nature. For example, Subanon riddles describe environmental phenomena to teach resourcefulness. Next is cultural preservation and identity. Oral traditions, folk tales, epics, and chants serve as vessels for preserving indigenous languages, customs, and worldviews. Works like the Hudhud, Ifugao epic, and Darangen, a Maranao epic, encode tribal histories and moral codes, ensuring their transmission across generations. Next is colonial resistance and resilience. Indigenous literature subtly critiques colonial operation during Spanish rule. Proverbs and songs mask defiance, as seen in Karaya riddles mocking friars' greed. Most colonial works, like resistance poetry during the Marcos era, continued this theme of nationalism and social justice, community and social values. Proverbs and folk songs reinforce communal ethics. For instance, Ilocano sayings warn against complacency. Water carries away the sleeping shrimp, while lullabies Oyaye blends whimsy with lessons on humility and perseverance. Next is spirituality and mythology. Indigenous cosmologies are woven into narratives featuring deities. Example, Bathala, ancestral spirits, and mythological creatures. These stories explain natural phenomena and codify spiritual practices, reflecting a worldview where humans and the divine coexist. Filipino indigenous literature is a testament to the resilience of cultural identity, blending ecological wisdom, communal ethics, and resistance. These themes remain vital in contemporary works that reclaim pre-colonial heritage while addressing modern socio-political struggles. Next is the notable works and author. This picture shows Hudhud ni Aliguyon. The author of this various oral tradition keepers specific authors are not attributed due to its oral nature. This epic, recited by the Ifugao people, tells the story of Aliguyon, a warrior who engages in the stories of conflicts and adventures. It is known for its intricate storytelling and is performed during rice planting and harvesting seasons. Next picture is Darangen. The author varies particularly from the Mangyan tribes of Mindoro. The Ambahan is the Darangen. This epic narrative features the adventures of the hero Bantogan and explore themes of love, honor, and bravery. It is recognized as a UNESCO masterpiece of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity. Next is Ambahan poetry. The author varies particularly from the Mangyan tribes of Mindoro. This Ambahan is a form of poetry consisting of 7-syllable verses that convey wisdom, emotions, and life lessons. It is traditionally described on bamboo and reflects the cultural heritage of the Mangyan people. Next is Subanon riddles. The author says various part of the oral traditions. These riddles are a form of oral literature among the Subanon people of Mindanao, often used in social gatherings to entertain and teach moral lessons. Next picture is this is Luisa Gonzaga de Leon. Ejercicio Cotidiano, also known as Daily Devotion. This work of Luisa Gonzaga de Leon, published posthumously in 1844. This is considered the first book written by a native Filipino woman. It translates Spanish Catholic prayers in the Kapampangan language, making religious texts accessible to her community. And this is Virgilio S. Almario. His work was various children's books and poetry that incorporate indigenous themes. Almario is a contemporary Filipino, is a poet and literary critic who emphasizes the importance of indigenous literature, indigenous culture and language in his works. And this is Francisco Sionel Jose. His work is The God Stealer. This is while primarily known for his novels addressing social issues. Jose's works often reflect the struggles and identity of indigenous peoples within the broader context of Filipino society.
I'm Princess Miberial Panuga. I'm the next reporter. Our next topic is all about cultural context, Filipino indigenous groups and their contributions to literature. Filipino indigenous literature is deeply rooted in oral traditions and reflect the cultural diversity of over 110 ethno-linguistics groups. These groups, often marginalized yet resilient, have preserved an ancestral knowledge, identity, and resistance through their literary practices. Below is a breakdown of key groups and their contributions. First is the Northern Luzon, Igorot, and Cordillera groups. Ifugao is known for the hudhud, an effect chanted during rice harvest, and rituals Recognized by UNESCO as a masterpiece of oral and intangible heritage. It inter- intertwines mythology, agriculture practices, and moral lessons. Kalinga, Der Ugayam, Victory Song, and Dangdang Ay, Der Geese celebrate bravery and communal values. Ibaloy, preserve genealogies, truth, Badiw, chant performed during rituals. Second is Mindanao, Lumad, and Islamic groups. Maranao, Dadarangin. Another UNESCO recognized effect narrates the adventures of Prince Bantugan. It blends pre-Islamic mythology with themes of heroism and justice. Manubo, their Agyo effect recounts the journey of ancestral spirits and emphasizes harmony with nature. Subanon, use Guman effect forms and riddles to teach ethics and survival skills. Tibuli, known for Tudbulol effect chants, performed during the Higilong ritual celebrating creation myths. Third is the central and southern Philippines. Mangyan, in Mindoro, Ambahan, a poetic form inscribed on bamboo convey wisdom about love, nature, and community. Tagbanwa in Palawan, preserve oral histories, truth, Tarandaw. Ritual dances accompanied by chants. Ita and Negrito use alalay or lullabies and dikri stories to pass down survival knowledge and spiritual beliefs. The fourth is the Visayan groups. Suludnon in Panay, their Hinilawod. Their Hinilawod effect. One of the longest in the Philippines, details and the adventures of ancient heroes like Humadapnon, Waray, Bicol, and Balak, poetic debates, explore social issues, truth, metaphor, and humor. Themes and forms. First is the oral effects. Serves as communal memory, blending mythology, history, and ethics. For example, Biag ni Lamang of the Ilocanos. Second, proverbs and riddles. Tools for teaching morality and critical thinking. For example, Ilocano, Sarsarita, and Tagalog Salawikain. The third is ritual chants. Connect the physical and spiritual worlds. For example, Ipugaw, Baki rituals. The fourth is the resistance narratives. Subtly critique colonization such as Karay-A riddles, mocking Spanish prayers. The impact of colonization. Spanish missionaries documented some oral literature, for example, Doctrina Christiana in 1593, but often reframe it through Christian lenses. Despite this, groups like the Mangyan and Subanon retain syllabic scripts, Surat Mangyan, Cor-Eitan, Preserving Pre-Colonial Writing Systems. Philippines Indigenous Literature. Filipino indigenous literature is a living testament to cultural resilience. From the Ipugao's terraces link, Hudhud to the Maranaos warriors' effects, these works continue to inspire contemporary Filipino identity and global appreciation for oral heritage.
Contemporary evolution of Filipino indigenous literature. Filipino indigenous literature is experiencing a dynamic revival, blending ancestral traditions with modern innovation rooted in oral storytelling. It now navigates globalization, digital media, and cultural activism, reflecting both continuity and adaptation. Preservation through modern platforms. Example, Hub of the Ifugao and the Ren of the Marana are now accessible via online repositories and multimedia project. Rete- re- Reinterpretation in contemporary forms. Writers are remaining traditional motif in mobile poetry and theater. Authors like Cirilo Bautista and Charleson Ong Fo's indigenous theme with postmodern style addressing issues like urbanization and diaspora. Even riddles and proverbs are reposed in social media and critique modern pattern scenes and anti-colonial and environmental advocacy. Linguistic Renaissance. The resurgence of literature in navigate language Cebuano, Ilocano, Karaya challenges the dominance of English and Filipino. Regional publishing incentive and festivals such as Davao Writers Workshop celebrate linguistic diversity. This movement aligns with global effort to revise engaged language. 4. Addressing social and environmental crises. Indigenous literature increasingly comforts modern challenges like land rights. Stories from Cordillera and Mindanao highlight struggles against displacement, climate justice, or history of the Otaamangyan emphasize ecological stewardship. Identity politics works explore hybrid identities in urbanized multicultural settings. Globalization and disposa. Filipino disposa writers such as Jessica Hagedorn bridge transnational experience. Meanwhile, international collaboration emphasize local voice globally. Cha- Changes and opportunities. Despite progress, threats like cultural commodification and language attritions persist. However, grassroots movements and digital storytelling like TikTok and Folktale
offers innovate pathways to engagement. Filipino indigenous literature giving tapestry honoring ancestral wisdom while boldly redefining itself in a rapid changing world. The importance of preserving the literature lies in this role as a cornerstone of cultural survival, safeguarding language, histories, and ecological wisdom that counter homogenization and exploitation.
The importance of preserving this literature lies in its role as a cornerstone of cultural survival, safeguarding languages, stories, and ecological wisdom that counter homogenization and exploitation. It validates indigenous struggles, enriches national identity, and offers globally relevant solutions to crises like environmental collapse. Sa pagpapatingkad sa mga kwento, iginagalang natin ang katatagan ng mga katutubo, pinapayaman ang pagiging inklusibo at tinitiyak na ang ibang tinig ang humuhubog sa isang kinabukasan kung saan ang tradisyon at progreso ay magkasamang umiiral. Sa huli, ang pangangalaga sa panitikang katutubo ng Pilipinas ay isang gawa ng katarungan, isang panata sa pagunita sa nakaraan habang inaalagaan ang sustainabling at makatarungang kinabukasan. Ito'y pagkilala na ang bawat salaysay, tula at awiting katutubo ay hindi lamang alaala kundi sandata laban sa paglaho ng kultura at pang-aapi. Sa pagpapalaganap ng mga ito, binibigyang pugay natin ang yaman ng nakaraan at hinuhubog ang isang lipunang nagmamalasakit sa lahi, kalikasan at pagkakapantay-pantay. And once again, I am Mera Flor Gamayot, and this is the end of our report. Thank you so much.